Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Diane Deziel, and today we are doing the back pattern piece for the lining and the facing of the coat project. Here's my back coat pattern the way we left it. So now we're going to do the lining and the facing for the back. If you remember, in the front we did a wider facing. We did 7 centimeters at the shoulder, so I will mark on my back my 7 centimeters wide for the facing. And usually for coat I do it a little wider at the center back, so here I'm going to do 9 centimeters. You could square for a little while from center back and just connect both reference. Now, to make your assemble easier, I suggest you put a double notch somewhere in the curve. Now we know that the top part is the facing and the bottom part is going to be for the lining. Now make sure you put another paper under your back pattern, and we will do an ease pleat on the back for more movement on the lining since it's a weak fabric. The pleat could be added parallel, but for this example I'm going to add it at the yoke level to nothing at the bottom. The width of the pleat, I would say you need to add at least 1.5 to 2 centimeters. So just straight out 2 centimeters. This is going to be the depth of the pleat since my pattern piece will be on fold again. And now you could just trace from that 2 centimeters to the bottom of the pattern. Now for this one, instead of retracing my back, I'm just going to put some pin to hold my two paper together. I'm going to fold the extension since the lining doesn't have the pocket. And I will add a fold paper for the facing area, making sure that you're going to have enough to add your seam allowance on the facing. So the fold paper is placed right at the center back, just like that. Again, make sure you put some pins so nothing moves. And before cutting all around, I'm going to trace my yoke and the notch. And I just realized I didn't put my center back notch, so at 0.5 from the fold, we'll have it on the self pattern and on the yoke. And the last thing to trace will be the final length of the coat. Now you could cut all around your paper. Before to separate my pattern piece, I'm going to indicate the center back on the lining piece. And also I'm going to notch the armhole and the waist. Now we could remove the pin and retrace the line on both new pieces. Now it's time to add the missing seam allowance because we did cut inside the basic pattern. So we're going to add the seam allowance towards the top on the lining. And we're going to add towards the bottom for the facing. Now you could remove the top part of the lining and the bottom part on the facing. And make all your notches, adding an extra one to the facing on the fold line at the bottom of the facing. Now we'll put the information on the facing. The grain line is going to be parallel to the fold. It's going to be cut one time in self and one time in fusing. The bottom part is the lining. The grain line is going to be parallel to that new line that we just did. And it's going to be cut one time in lining and the fold of the fabric is going to be on the new line of the extension for the pleat. Now we have one last thing to do. It's to calculate the length of the lining. Now I'm putting back my lining over the self for you to understand the calculation. The length of the pattern lining could be from 1 cm higher than the final length of the coat to 1 centimeter down from the final length of the coat. That's what I use usually, but you could see both right at the line or a centimeter higher. It doesn't matter, the calculation will be good for all the length that you decide. But these are the three basic measurements. I'm going to go a centimeter down because that's my habit. And I'm going to cut on that line. Now to calculate how much you're going to fold for the lining, here's the calculation. Whatever you put for your hem of the self, so I have 4 centimeters, plus whatever you have below the final line on your lining. Right now I have 1 centimeter. So the total, you divide it by 2. It is going to give you the position of the notch or how much to fold for your hem of the lining. For this example, 2.5. So I'm going to put a notch there, and let me trace a little bit. Let me do my notch and show you how it's going to work. I'm going to fold both towards the top now, just for you to see what's happening. Folding my 2.5 and folding my 4 centimeter for the self. Just for a little while, and then look, if I put my pattern aligned at the waist all the way down, you're going to see that both hem match perfectly. If you decide to attach your lining at the bottom, when you do your seam, it's going to give you a little bit of a pleat for ease and movement. And if you don't attach it, it still fits perfectly, covering the edge of your self fabric. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you watch my next video. I'll do the facing and the lining for the front of the coat. Thank you for watching, and I see you next time.